Hey guys, good morning. Your friend Sebastian. Long time no see. Sorry guys, one of the beautiful tiny humans in my life may have gotten my phone over Father's Day weekend, not to be seen again. So I've been a little absent, guys, and I apologize. I missed you. And oh my goodness, it's a Friday morning, guys. And if we were to get back to what we were doing pre-pandemic, right before the COVID mania hit, it would be that on a Friday, I would probably give you tips, tricks, and hacks around being an amazing parent, right? And even if you're not a parent, maybe you're an aunt, you're an uncle, you might just be a leader, right? And a lot of times these lessons are the same. And a lot of times, if you're a leader, the people that you lead are often very childlike, right? But you're a leader, and you're not going to sweat that, right? You're just going to go lead with passion and perseverance, and that's what we're talking about this morning. Because I was listening to a podcast, and it was an interview of Jay Papasan, who is New York best-selling author, wrote the book, a bunch of best-selling books, but one of them was called The One Thing, and it's how to focus on the most important thing to move all the other things forward. And he was interviewing Angela Duckworth, Dr. Duckworth, right? The gal that wrote Grit. And grit has become such a big word, and it's still such a big word, and probably a huge and important word, right? In the middle of a pandemic when everything was going so well, and we're all mourning how our normal life has gotten turned upside down, the new normal, right? I think a lot of us are like, so the old normal was cool, right? And so here's the thing, guys, grit, right? Passion and perseverance. And you guys have heard me talk about how we don't succeed our way to success, we fail our way to success, which is interesting, right? I'm advocating that you go get after it, and when it all crumbles and didn't work out, that you pick up the pieces, make some adjustments, and keep going for it. And what we know about grit, guys, is we're talking about the passion, the perseverance, right? The self-driven inspiration to go do what we want to do. And the challenge is humans are incredibly poor at having this cognition of what they want to do. In fact, you may think you want to do something, and you go and do it for a little bit and be like, well, that wasn't it, right? And I've had that as an entrepreneur. If you're entrepreneurial, and I'm probably speaking to a lot of entrepreneurs, that's how it is. You go and you're like, I'm going to open this. I opened a gym once in my life. Well, I loved opening that gym. I love inspiring the people and I loved raising the money to do it. And I loved building it, and I loved having it. Just say, hey, I built this and I have it, right? I'm sorry. I love that. There was maybe some, I think, good ego in that. Here's something I've done. Check it out. I'm so proud of it. And then you open the door at 5 a.m. for a bunch of stinky gym goers, people 5 a.m. cranky, but they're working it out. We had this one guy, he'd show up, man, and God bless him, he worked out so hard and he stunk so bad. I mean, this guy could stink up, 10,000 square foot gym. And I learned that wasn't it for me. Now, back then I wasn't a 5 a.m. guy. Now I am. Might be different today, kind of, I'm a little older, a little more mature. Back then, 5 a.m., not cool. So it's passion and perseverance, right? It's grit, the grittiest of grit, and we succeed or we fail our way to success, right? Well, when do you give up, right? And this is part of the interview. If you guys go to foundation1440.com, I posted a link to the interview of Jay Papasan and Dr. Duckworth, and it's priceless, guys, right? Because it also says what we don't give on, right? What we don't give up on, what we'll continue to fail at till we succeed, are the core values, truly the deep things that matter to us. Like for Dr. Duckworth, it's how am I going to use the science of psychology to help make children's lives better and get kids to the sweet spot better, right? And there's the book, there's a book on growth mindset, right? And that's such a great book because it just talks about how talent and God-given talent and the privilege you might get from maybe your family or parents. Hush, look at this guy. Quit your barking, doggish puss. There's some joy right there, right, guys? And how talent can be something that holds you back, believe it or not. Natural talent means, and I experienced this recently, and this is where I'm going with my message today. Hey, Now listen here, I'm trying to help people and you're barking up a storm. You know, my son last week had his first BMX race. And as a dad with a talented son, right, the kid's just naturally talented on two wheels. And he moved up a class, so I'm watching him race against the kids that are pretty darn good, right? And he was in fourth and fifth place out of 8 when I'm used to him winning those races. And it was all like, hey, that's enough, young man. Cha-cha. And I'm watching him. I'm used to watching that boy win, and the overbearing dad's just bubbling away inside. Son, you got this. Go harder, you know. And he's kind of watching, and I could see him getting a feel for this new class and these new competitors. And one of his good friends that he competes with, right, beat him in this race, and he was really gracious about it. He's like, man, I was so happy to see him race, and we got tangled up and I couldn't get back by him, right? And this is and I'm sitting there being overbearing dad. He's racing against a kid whose dad is an Olympian, right? When you're in Durango, Colorado, you guys, the average person running by is like a worldwide renowned athlete, right? And here I am like, oh, overbearing dad, go get that guy. The kid's dad is a mountain bike Olympian. Chill out, dad. And of course, I wasn't the overbearing dad because I'm having this inner turmoil, right? And then when I look back a little bit more, man, that kid learned so much more in, uh, you know, his graciousness and not being first in that race, and his talent to always win all the races he'd been in before might have been holding him back in that situation because he just sat back and kind of rode and raced and watched, so it was really interesting and introspective. And the kid wants to race again, right? And that's the grit. It's passion and perseverance for what he just really enjoys, and yet he's gonna fail his way to success, and I love it. And I think you watch a kid do this naturally, and it's really moving. And so here's the message, guys. The message is, number one, grit is about passion and perseverance, and you gotta look a little bit deeper. It might not be what you thought it was. And the last message of this is, go date that thing that you think it is. In other words, Dr. Duckworth said, when we get really gritty about something, we're kind of married to it, right? It's a lifelong deal till death do us part, through thick and thin, right? Because you got to it's a trial and error to figure out which part of it, or how are you going to get to that sweet sauce, that big overarching goal that's really important to you and that you really do have passion and perseverance for. And you just got to look deeply and deeply and more and more deeply each time to say, is that it? Is that it? Is that it? Well, I loved being an entrepreneur. I loved opening the gym. There was a lot about it, and didn't like getting up, sold the gym next. Now I'm on to real estate, and I love real estate. And yet I think my life's calling, if the Lord put me on this earth to do something, it's to inspire people to do what inspires them. Well, is it these videos? Is it public speaking? How do I get to inspire the most people that I can to do what they want to do in their life? And maybe these little videos aren't it, but for now, that's what I'm doing, right? And what I've learned is, even with the coaching thing, is you can coach somebody and you can lead a horse to water, and they might not even think about drinking it, right? And so I'm not even sure it's that. I kind of like just putting my good juju out in the world for those people that want it, when they need it. And if they don't like it, they can swipe to the next coach. So I don't know, guys. I guess what I'm telling you is, you gotta have passion and perseverance for the thing in your gut, in the fire, and you're burning. And the best part about this is, just because somebody learns it faster, has more natural talent, has more money so that they can have fancy coaches, or has more privilege to get there faster, the thing about grit is, it's time on task over time. They might have the talent and the means, but it might not be burning in their soul. So sometimes just the burning in your soul and wanting it bad enough can outshine the natural talent and the privilege that somebody else has to get there. So stick with it, guys. Battle through the losses, right? That's the message. Gosh, it took me a while to self-discover it. Is the the sun comes up, but it's like, battle through it, guys. Persevere. Stick with it. You might have to switch it up, change it, and then push forward again. Trial and error, right? You only fail when you give up. Not a bad message, right? Great message for that little boy. We're going to go race BMX tonight. Friday Night Lights, Durango BMX. Come and join us. And we're going to try to save our downtown and all our restaurants, because I love you and I love our businesses and I love our city. And if I can help you, if I can be your cheerleader, maybe that's it. Paid cheerleader for hire. Swipe right, spend $1, call Seb, and I'll just tell you what a baller you are and how you got this, right? And to chase your dreams and not give up, right? Passion, perseverance, grit, time on task, right? Just because you're not the most talented or the best funded today doesn't mean that your passion to do it at a big level won't show up, guys. So nobody stands in your way. Nobody gets to jack with your chi. Get the naysayers out of your day and just tune into your own old friend Seb, because I believe in you. Love you guys. Have a great day.